In this video, I'll share tips and know-how on how to work with a Fiverr tech. I'll share some basics and also share about a real-world order I placed recently where I had a very good result. If you follow these tips, you will wind up getting a good result as well as the best price. These are some of the areas any author, writer, or self-publisher could need help with. Any business owner will also profit from these tips, but for this video, I'm focusing on the area of self-publishing and author needs. I have been using Fiverr techs on and off for years, and I have learned most of these tips the hard way. You will need to open an account at Fiverr. There's nothing unusual about the process. You will need a credit card, a debit card, or a PayPal account, so they know where to take the money from or deposit the money to. The one tip it will be helpful to know is that once you have an account at Fiverr, you can offer services or request services. They are both done within the same account. When I go live in a couple of minutes, I'll point out the link that switches from giving services to ordering services. Unless and until you know about this link, it is easy to get all turned around and confused about where to go for what. For those of you following my marketing videos, I just want to also mention that offering to be a beta reader or a book blurb writer can help you earn a book marketing budget. So what role does Fiverr play in this? What does Fiverr do? Their website has organized professional talent from all over the world that you have access to. And they have organized everything into subgroups, and the website is searchable with keywords. They also act as a safe banker. For example, you contract with a technician for specific services, and Fiverr collects the money at the beginning of the job and holds it. Once the job is delivered to you, you indicate receipt of it and acceptance of it. Then Fiverr releases the money to the tech worker. You are asked to rate the worker and the work you received. You will also get an email asking you to rate the worker secretly in case you need to let Fiverr know anything sensitive. In the event there is a dispute, Fiverr will act as a referee. This is why it is important to be very specific in what you ask for. The more specific you are, the better your results and the better your price. Fiverr protects both parties in each transaction. Let's talk about the last tip I mentioned about being specific. When you communicate with a Fiverr tech, they will calculate in their mind how easy or hard what you want will be and how much of their time they will need to devote to this job. So if you contact them and say, well, I'm looking for someone to do some work on my website, or I need somebody to make a few changes to my website, they won't know what you want done, if they can even do it, or even how long it will take them. If they believe you are someone who is unclear about what you want, they will either overbid the job just to make sure they don't get cut short, or they will not respond to you at all. However, if you present them with a 3 or 4 bullet-pointed list, and it's in writing, the Fiverr techs will be able to zero in on whether they can help you, how long it will take them, and they will give you a more reasonable price. They will also know that because you know exactly what you want, it will be easy to please you. These are the type of customers they want. Another tip is to do research first before contacting anyone, and here's why. Let's say you want a website and you just contact a web designer. The questions will go like this. How many pages do you want? Well, I'm not sure, maybe 4, maybe 5. Do you need a logo? Well, I guess I'll need that. Do you need e-commerce to sell your books? Well, I would like to sell my book, so I guess I'll need that too. You'll need a contact form, right? Yes, I want my readers to be able to contact me. But what you don't realize is that you were just talked into purchasing a website, a custom logo, a form package, and e-commerce, and that's at a minimum. However, if you research new authors and find a simple website, someone who has only one or two books like you will find examples where they don't use a logo. They very often use a fancy font for their name. They don't use forms. They only use social media links, including an email link. And e-commerce is very expensive, so don't go there unless or until you have at least a few books, or you have plenty of marketing money and want to make the biggest splash you can. The better process is to find and author one-page website as a model, especially if you only have one book, and ask the tech for the following. I want a one-page website built on WordPress. I don't need a logo because I'm going to use my name with a fancy font to start with. I have a profile picture and a book cover picture. I want social media icons linking to all of my accounts, including my email. That's all I need right now. If you have 3 samples of websites from other new authors and 1 or 2 with a color scheme you like, you can get a much better price from the Fiverr designer. As long as you get the website built on WordPress, then you can expand your website as you go along. On a WordPress website, it takes 5 minutes to add a new page and add it to your navigation bar. In time, if you want to add e-commerce, you can use a plugin called WooCommerce, and there are many other choices as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but WordPress uses little snippets of computer code called plugins to add different functionality to your website. So adding e-commerce later on is easy and very economical. This allows you to build a one-page website if and when your budget is tight, but it also sets you up to expand it over time. I've already gone over what you will need to sign up for the account, so I'm not going to say anything about that. It's important to know the appropriate keywords to get the right help. For example, website design and WordPress website design are similar, but there would be a huge difference in the pricing for a customized website and one built on WordPress. Graphic design will pull up thousands of talented artists, but searching with the keywords book covers and/or fantasy book covers are going to get you closer to what you really want. So before reaching out to anyone, have a look around the Fiverr website and see what comes up with each keyword. Most of the technicians have a portfolio of some kind or a list of the specific work they do. You can learn more keywords that are used in whatever area you are searching in. This can be very helpful in getting closer to exactly what you want. Okay, so I have logged into my Fiverr account. We've already gone over earlier in the video about signing up. There's nothing unusual about it, so I'm not going to go into any details on it. But I will say that I am in my inbox right now. And here is the link to switch to selling. Now, if you happen to be on your dashboard or somewhere else and you do not see this link, if you click on your profile picture and click into the profile link, there will be a link in that section where you can switch between selling services and requesting services. So that's the only tip you need to know about that. Now, I'm going to break up this Fiverr section into 2 parts. The first one, I'm going to show you about how to find someone specifically. And then in the second part, I'm going to go over very quickly the details of my last job with a technician on Fiverr so you can see a real world example. I always think that's very helpful to see what somebody actually did. So anyway, when you come to Fiverr, I specifically wanted somebody who knew how to use Google Analytics and then Google Tag Manager. Okay, and then you search. And then what Fiverr does is it brings up everyone who is involved that has these keywords under their profile. Okay, so what you will do is you will start looking through all of these people. Now, I always look for Americans first, just out of a sense of loyalty. But on a website that starts at $5, there's not that many Americans in all honesty, but I do look for them. But anyway, the second group that I look for are Indians because Indians grow up speaking English. And sometimes their English is better than ours. So they are always fluent in English and always easy to communicate with. The second group I go for are Pakistanis, and I think I have worked with someone from the Ukraine. Quite frankly, most of the people that are working here do speak English, but some of them speak much better English than others. So anyway, that's the first thing. So when you come to these little snippets here, this is where you find out about who they are. So let's go and look at this guy here. He's a top rated. He's like 3 stars. Okay, so he's offering 5% off your first order, so that's good. Okay, so when you click inside to see the person's sort of little website on a page is basically what you're looking at. You're going to see their name, and a lot of times it's not a real name. It is either a business name or sometimes it's a handle, and you see where they're from, Pakistan. He speaks English and Urdu. He's already done 3,500 orders completed, and he's a 5.0 rating. So that means that he, delivers the goods. He's somebody who can do the work, and he gets good ratings. So over here on the right-hand side, all of these technicians have 3 packages. They have the basic package where they tell you what you can get for the $19. The next one is the $57 package. They all have different prices, by the way. And then they will enumerate it, and then the premium. But I very rarely click on any of these because for some reason I always have some sort of customized thing or another in my request. So what I normally do is I click on the Contact Me button. And what that does is it allows you to send a specific request to the person. Now, I'm going to click out of this here, and I'm going to click back here. So what you want to do is you want to go through and see what they have to offer, what their prices are like. If you go down a little bit more, it will give you more detail about what type of gigs these people do. And very often you will see their whole skill set. Okay, so in the job that I was looking for, I needed somebody who not only knew about Google Analytics, but I needed them to coordinate with Tag Manager. So I needed somebody that had, quite a bit of expertise. And I also was dealing with a website. My website is built on WordPress. So as you can see here, this guy knows how to do WordPress, and he also does all of the Google Analytics and the events tracking. That's exactly what I wanted. So I collect 4 or 5 of these people that seem to fit the bill. Their prices are pretty good. And just so you know, the higher they score, like this guy is a level 2. Now he would be a little bit cheaper than a level 3 or a level 4 because he's still building up to that. Okay, so depending upon what your budget is, you want to, if you search around, you can find somebody for a little bit cheaper here, a little bit cheaper there. So then what I do is I always click on the contact me button, okay? And then I put in my list of details, which I will show you here. So the last time I sent this in, and I'll just briefly explain this. I told them I'm somewhat computer savvy. I've been watching videos trying to make these changes myself. I got all turned around and now I just want to pay someone. But aside from having the work done, I really want to watch the work done on a team viewer or something like that, which is something where I can watch them do the changes. And I told them specifically, I'm not expecting you to stop and teach me because that takes a lot of time. I just want to watch to see if was I watching old information? Was I watching just incorrect information? Or did I just get myself all mixed up and I just couldn't follow the instructions? So that's what I wanted to do. It turned out that the changes that I had wanted were so much more complicated, and there was an issue with an ad blocker. There were some plugins on my website that were blocking things. So the man that I chose, he was familiar with all of it, and he was able to fix everything and get everything up and working. So anyway, so here was the list of everything that I wanted set up. And as you can see, I have them listed almost in bullet points. This is a notepad file, so you can't do bullet points, but I have them all set up separately so that he could read through them and decide, yes, I can do that, and determine how much time and how much of his expertise would be needed to do all of these changes. And then finally I said, can you do this? Do you speak English? And how much would you charge for this? And when it came time to put my budget in, I told them, well, it's between 75 and 100, which was $25 less than what Fiverr told me these services go for. I like to leave myself a little bit of negotiation room. So anyway, we agreed on $100 and he made all of the changes. He did an excellent job and I was very happy about it. Now, I also learned this the hard way. I keep track of who it is that I contact, what their handle is or their name, so that I can search on Fiverr and find them. And then I tell them, I put notes to myself, yes, he will do it and he will use either Zoom or Team Viewer. And the agreed upon price is $100. He was from Pakistan, but I could tell just from the short communication that his English was very good. And I'm waiting to hear back from him. So I had one or two others that I have erased now because I decided to go with Allie. But that's a big tip, is to keep track of who you are contacting, because there are two ways to contact people, and that's the next section that I'm going into now. You can target people by searching, like I just did, who's around, who has these skills. You go in and you review their prices, you review their skill set, and you decide, oh yeah, this guy looks good or this girl looks good. And you contact them specifically, one person you're contacting. And I usually do two or three that I choose. Okay. Now, of course, they might be out that day from work, or maybe they're just traveling and they don't get back to you. So very often what I will do is, if I'm in a little bit of a hurry, I will also post a request. And what that does is it just gives a broad request for the same services. I use the same cheat sheet here. I post it all. And then when you come in, you will go to your inbox, and in the inbox are all of the communications that you get regarding the order. And then you can check them all out. So this is where it becomes important to remember who it is you have targeted and want to work with versus who's just responding to any broad blast of your job. So anyway, that's a very important tip, is to try to keep everybody straight and what price you have agreed upon. Let me check my sheet here to see if I've covered everything. There's one other thing. So when you contact them specifically and you come to a point where you kind of agree on a price, what they will do at this point is they will send you a custom order. And the custom order is different from the three choices, the basic, the standard, and the premium. You're going to get a custom order. And so once your custom order comes through, I'm seeing if there's one here. I don't see it here. It's probably in another section. Anyway, you will just click on it, and that is when Fiverr will ask you for the payment instructions, or to agree that this is what you're going to pay. And then as soon as the payment is accepted by Fiverr, not from the guy, because he doesn't get the money until the job is delivered, that begins the clock. So if he says, I can do this for you and I'll have it done in 4 days, the clock begins to toll at the time that the payment is taken from you, and put like sort of an escrow for him for when he finishes the job. Anyway, that's all that I wanted to really show you live from the Fiverr website. So I hope that was helpful. My final tip is to do the research before you even go to Fiverr. For example, if you need a book cover, research what other self-publishers have said about creating book covers. The more you know about what you want or need, the easier it will be to get the best worker at the best price. If you need technical work like I did, watch a few YouTube videos to see how easy or hard these changes or technical work is. Listen to the technology words they use. These are probably keywords that you will need to know anyway. Then go to Fiverr and start with a specific keyword. For example, fantasy book covers, or mystery book covers, or WordPress websites. Each graphic designer has a portfolio with a sampling of their work. You can click on the heart on their page to save them into your favorites to easily find them again, or jot down their names or handles. As I said earlier, this is important in finding the same people again. You're ready to go now off to Fiverr and get just about anything done. These tips and tricks will help in any area you need help in. Thank you to anyone who is still with me. If you learned anything, I hope you will give me a like and subscribe to my channel, which I'm trying to grow. On the right are pictures of my 3-book series. They are all available for purchase on Amazon.com, and they are all also in Kindle Unlimited. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.